Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make a scrunchie two different ways. So one is going to use this, which is my favorite. I like to just use this. It's already done. It's a little more intricate to sew, but it's easier for me. The other is just with a piece of elastic. Now how I did that is I really like this size, so I just laid it there on the edge right there. I went with the where they do it, so I knew where I was starting and stopping, and I would go. I didn't pull it tight. I don't want it to stretch, so I'm just holding it, and then I would go all the way around back to the beginning, and I wanted it to overlap just a little bit there. So then I cut that. Now we're just going to lay those to the side for now. So you're going to need a piece of fabric that is 4 inches by 18 inches. And I'm still using the fat quarter bundles that I bought at Walmart. The ones that were on sale after Easter. But you can use any fabric. So you just are going to take it and fold it in half lengthwise. Just like that. And you'll run a pin down, or run pins down it. You don't have to. I pin. I'm a pinner. Unless it's a really small piece. But you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to stitch from about here, about 1.5 inches in on both sides. So you don't want to stitch all the way. You're going to need to leave some open on the edges. So I already did that. Like I said, we're making it 2 ways. So I prepped a little bit of stuff in this video. So I've stitched all the way down. Next, we are going to take our elastic, and I'm just going to sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance right there on this edge. I'm just going to tack it down. I'm going to do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done that. Now, like I said, I don't really like to do it this way, but I thought I'd show both ways, and then you could decide how you want to do it. I should have used colored thread, but so it's white on white. So I went down, and then I went backwards just a little bit over, and then back, and then I did it about 5 times, but I'd move just slightly each time so it can still stretch, and it'll hold on to the stitches. The stitches will hold on to the elastic. So next we're going to use, I still don't know what this is called, you guys. I'm so sorry. I got it at Joann's. It was a 3-pack. It had 3 different sizes in it, and it's just so easy to turn. I bought it when I was making ties for the managers at McDonald's, and I just threw away the package. I started that like years ago. So then you're going to have your elastic on, it's on this side. So then you are going to, I should have hooked the safety pin to that. Not sure why I didn't. You're going to go down through and find your elastic. And you'll pull it up through. Actually, I am going to hook the safety pin to it as soon as I find it. Sorry about the mess there. My hand's in the way. So I hook it down a little bit lower. I don't want to hook it right on the edge, because then it will pull out the stitches on that. So get a little harder as it goes. You'll feel it bunching up down there. See how it's curling? All right, and then we'll undo that. And I'm actually going to take it and tack it also, just to this side, just like I did before. I'm going to do that, and I will be right back. All right, done that. So my fabric got a little frayed here. I've had it cut for a few days ready to do this, and I just haven't had the time. Okay, so now we are going to take our back ends. We're going to take this flat, the elastic's pulling it in, and we're going to match it up with this side. And again, I'm a pinner. If you don't want to pin, don't pin. But I'm going to pin it here. I would find this really difficult to do not pinning it because the elastic's pulling it tight and you're just trying to get it straight. So I'm going to pin every inch or so. Maybe a little less. And we'll pin it there. All right. So now I'm going to go back to the machine and 1/4 inch seam, just straight down, and go slow. Make sure you're not catching any of the other fabric in there. So I'm just going to do that real quick and I'll be right back. All right, I've done that. Now I don't know, I don't think I mentioned it, but I do back stitch on each of these seams the whole way. Like when I sewed the lengthwise stitch seam, and when I just sewed these, I back stitched, because you're working with them. You're putting some pressure on them at certain points and you just don't want to risk it. So now we're just going to fold it in, and I start in the middle actually. I line up the seams and I'm going to pin right there. And then I pull it out and I actually pin just past the opening, so I know I have to go at least that far. And I'm going to pin there. And then we're just going to stitch that close, and then this scrunchie could be finished right there. I'm going to do that and I will be right back. All right, this one's done. Well, I'm not done with it, but it could be done. This could stand alone right here just like that as a scrunchie. Well, I mean, it is a scrunchie. So right there, beautiful. Perfect for kids, adults. I might wear it. It twists a little there because I tied the elastic to opposite ends, but I'm actually going to add something to it, so it's not a big deal for me. Now, let's move on to scrunchie number 2. This one is, like I said, my preferred. It's a little more tedious though. So we're going to take the hair tie, and we are going to, same length. I mean, it's the same piece of fabric we started with, so it was 4 by 18. We're going to take it and we're going to fold the hair tie into the corner there. And I am just going to pin it. And then we're just going to keep moving the hair tie down. And we're going to pin. I pin every 2 inches or so. If you need to pin more, pin more. Don't be ashamed of pinning. I know some people I watch and they don't pin at all. And I'm like, ooh. But some people can do it. I don't want to risk it. So I pin it. And sewing this one also is a little more difficult, but to me it's worth it because I like the way it fits better. I've made the other ones with the elastic. People like them. I've even worn them. I just prefer this one because I like these little, you could even use the thicker ones, but I like the little hair ties here. They work best with my hair. But you could use the thicker ones if that's what you like. I'm going to just keep going. And about one more. All right. And then again, same as the other one, you are going to want to leave about 1.5 inches or so unstitched at the end. So we're going to take this to the machine. I'm going to start here and I'll back stitch, and then I'll actually pull it tight and I'll stitch to about there, move the pin. I don't sew over my pins. I'll take that pin out and then I'll pull it tight and I'll stitch to there, and I'll just go all the way around with that, and then I'll back stitch here at the end. And I have actually pre-done that because I wanted to be a little bit faster. So this is what you're going to end up with. This fabric really frays a lot. I've never had one that frayed so much. All right, so then we are going to use this again. Again, it's a little more difficult because we are working with an elastic band, but it works. You just have to be patient. See, I got it all on there. And then we'll push it through. And you do it a little differently. See how I didn't pull it through the end? I just left that in there and I pulled it out. So because there's an elastic band, it can't actually go all the way through there. But it works none the same. So there you have that one. And then just like the other one, we are going to move the elastic band out of the way on this one. Just to the side. The other ones were sewn to it, so we couldn't really move them. But we're gonna move these. And we're gonna pin it right here. And then in the middle. And then at the end. This fabric really is fraying a lot. Glad I didn't spend too much on it. Okay, I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew it up and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We've done that. And then we're just going to pull it through and it will straighten itself out. And then just like the other one, we will tuck in the edges. And pin it. I have the clips also, and I do use the clips for bigger projects, but for these little ones, I find the clips are too bulky to seal up all the little areas. All right, so I'm going to run a stitch down through that, and I'll be right back to show you what we've got. All right, guys, so I'm done. I do have 3 scrunchies. Now, if I was going to leave them like this, honestly, I would have probably tried to match the thread. I did go ahead and sew up the green one because we're going to do all 3 now. 3 scrunchies, 2 different ways. And aren't they beautiful? You can customize it all. Now, I actually really like I don't know what they're called. It's like a bandana type. It's got like a bow on it. So that's the kind of scrunchie I like. So I got this, and what I did was I just traced, I kind of drew it. It's not perfect to make the bow, and I folded this in half. I folded the piece in half. And this one I did use the clips, and I clipped this one here. I started on the fold, and I clipped it there, and I clipped it up here, and I kind of drew around it and cut it. And I did that for all of them. But we're going to take these and we're going to pin them together, and I'm going to start at the points. They're not perfect. They don't line up perfect, but they're going to hold my hair back just the same. So I pin there, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to pin right here and right here, and this is the space that I'm going to leave open. Just like we did on the scrunchie, we're going to leave a space open. But I am going to pin a little bit more on this scrunchie, or this isn't a scrunchie, on this bow for when I sew it. And we're going to take it, and we're going to start here, and we're going to sew all the way around until we get back to here. And then we'll back stitch both those. And then you will have this. And now, if you want to, you could just take scissors and you could clip in the corners. But I have pinking shears, so I'm going to start at my stitches, and I'm just going to cut them with these all the way around. These are not necessary. Honestly, you could just turn it right side out just like that, because you're going to tie it in a bow. Nobody's going to see it up close, and even if they do, if they criticize it, say, well, show me yours. Because You don't need that kind of negativity in your life, so just move on. So we're going to go all the way around to the beginning. Now I don't do the open part because I need more to fold in for my seam or my closure. So then, now this gets tedious, I'll be honest. I wanted to scream a couple of times. So you just have to push it all in there. Shove it in. It'll be all right. You just work with it and it'll pop right through. Or it won't pop right through and you'll have to work with it some more. There we go. Once you get it most of the way through, now you could use a chopstick or even a pencil, really, or this stick right here that I have with that, it's just like a chopstick. You could use it for that. You can stick that in the little hole there. Just go around, pulling it out just enough. You don't want to pop your stitches. There you go. Then we will do the other one. This might even help me turn it, to tell you the truth, but it might not. Nah, it did a little bit, but not enough for me to use it. All right, so then we'll pop it open. As best we can. All right, and then you have a pretty little bow there, but you still have the opening, so we are going to have to close that. So I'll put a little pin in the back and one in the front, and then I'm going to just stitch that, top stitch it shut, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, I've done that. I went ahead and did them all because, well, I did. All right, let's put that back. So I have all three here. Now, I'm not gonna, but you could do coordinating fabrics. I didn't. So, but if you did coordinating fabrics, you could just wrap this one around this one and have all different things, but I didn't. So we're going to take, and I want you to take, obviously that's in the middle, so that's where we're going to tie it. And I like to tie it right over these stitches because then they are less likely to be seen. And anything that can hide that will make it look a little bit better. And you just tie it on there. And there you have it. We're going to go ahead and do them all. This one is slightly bigger than, this bow is slightly bigger than the ones I made before. So I may make it smaller the next time, but I also may not. I may find I like these better. I'll let you know. But you just tie them all up. If you match up the stitches, then nobody will even know. Well, they'll know there's a seam, but one's a little off. We can't have that. Maybe we can. There you go. It's still off. I'm not a perfectionist, you guys, but it's a knot. I should be able to tie it even, you would think, right? There we go. We'll just start completely over. There we There we go. Now we have it. So there you go. 3 scrunchies made 2 different ways with bows or without, whatever you prefer. I would like to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I love you all. I really do. And thank you for watching. And if you have any questions or suggestions or tips, please feel free to let me know. Thank you. Have a great day.